Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel.
Hello and welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue of Anna Devane facing unprecedented peril in Port Charles, where old enemies and shadowy figures collide to threaten her safety. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, Anna Devane's instincts have sharpened to a razor's edge, signaling that grave danger looms larger than ever before, possibly tied to the infamous Henrik Faison. This sense of impending doom doesn't arise in a vacuum. It's fueled by the recent disruptions caused by the enigmatic Sidwell, whose audacious maneuvers have sent ripples of unease through the town. Sidwell, with his calculated arrogance, has been slinking through the shadows of Port Charles, exerting pressure on key figures to bend to his will. He issued stark warnings to Drew Kane, hinting at consequences that could unravel Drew's carefully rebuilt life, while simultaneously pressuring Laura Collins to align with his controversial Measure C initiative, which promises sweeping changes to local governance but carries undertones of manipulation and control. Anna, ever the vigilant operative with her WSB background, can't shake the feeling that these events are orchestrated by a mastermind from her past, one whose influence lingers like a persistent fog. The plot thickens dramatically with the miraculous resurrections of Britt Westburn and Nathan West, two characters long presumed lost to the grave, now striding back into the fray as if death itself were merely a temporary exile in the soap opera saga. Britt, the brilliant yet tormented doctor with a lineage steeped in villainy, and Nathan, the steadfast cop whose demise left a void in the hearts of many. Their returns defy the natural order and amplify Anna's suspicions. In Port Charles, mortality is notoriously flexible. Resurrections aren't anomalies, but almost routine. From presumed dead lovers emerging unscathed to ghostly apparitions materializing at pivotal moments, Anna pores over these developments, her mind racing through archives of old cases, wondering if these comebacks are engineered diversions or harbingers of a larger conspiracy. Adding fuel to her fears is the lingering mystery of the brain preserved in a jar on Dr. Kevin Collins' desk, once believed to be Faison's, but now questioned in authenticity. Could it be a decoy? A clever ruse to mask his survival and ongoing machinations. Convinced that Faison, the obsessive arms dealer and psychological tormentor who haunted her life for decades, is pulling strings from the shadows despite Jason Morgan's fatal shot years ago, Anna turns to the one ally whose loyalty is ironclad, Jason himself. Jason, the stoic enforcer with a history of dismantling threats, listens intently as Anna lays out her theory in a dimly lit safe house, her voice laced with urgency. She describes the subtle signs, the coded messages in Sidwell's threats. The timing of Britt and Nathan's arrivals coinciding with Measure C's push that all point to Faison's signature style of psychological warfare. Yet Jason, ever the pragmatist shaped by countless betrayals, probes deeper, suggesting that Sidwell might be exploiting Anna's history with Faison as a smokescreen, diverting her attention from his own agenda of corporate dominance and political leverage. This exchange highlights the dynamic tension in their partnership, Anna's intuition-driven approach versus Jason's evidence-based caution, a balance that has saved them both more than once. As they dissect potential connections, Anna confesses a chilling revelation: she can almost sense Faison's presence, like an icy draft in a locked room. A psychic echo that blurs the line between paranoia and prescience. Delving into the broader implications, Anna's predicament underscores the fragility of alliances in Port Charles, where personal vendettas often masquerade as public policy battles. Measure C, for instance, isn't just a ballot proposal. It's a Trojan horse for Sidwell's ambitions, potentially reshaping property rights and surveillance laws in ways that echo Faison's old espionage tactics. Anna recalls past encounters with Faison, from his elaborate plots involving frozen embryos to his obsessive pursuit of her, analyzing how those patterns mirror current events' subtle coercions, false resurrections as loyalty tests, and the strategic use of resurrection rumors to destabilize the community. Jason counters with his own insights, drawing parallels to the Casadini family's history of cryogenic revivals and mind control experiments, urging Anna to verify leads through discreet surveillance rather than gut feelings alone. This collaborative probing not only strengthens their bond but also exposes vulnerabilities in Port Charles' power structure, where figures like Drew and Laura are unwitting pawns in a high-stakes chess game. Tragically, Anna's premonitions prove all too accurate when her abduction unfolds in a heartbeat, transforming suspicion into stark reality. Driving through the misty outskirts of town on a routine errand, her car suddenly veers off course after a shadowy intervention, perhaps a tampered vehicle or a swift ambush by unseen assailants, leaving her disoriented and captured. She awakens in a foreboding basement, wrists bound to a sturdy metal chair amid flickering fluorescent lights and the distant hum of machinery, evoking the grim interrogation rooms of her spy days. The air is thick with dampness and a faint scent of chemicals, suggesting an underground lair far removed from the polished facades of Port Charles' elite. This isn't her first brush with captivity. Recall the relatively benign snatch by the cunning Jack Brennan, who treated her more like a chess opponent than a prisoner, complete with wry banter and escape opportunities. But this abduction feels markedly different, more sinister, with no immediate clues to her captor's identity, heightening the terror. Speculation runs rampant on who might orchestrate this bold move, with several suspects emerging from the fog of Port Charles' intrigue. Sidwell tops the list, his recent aggressions against Drew and Laura painting him as a ruthless operator willing to eliminate obstacles to his Measure C victory. Perhaps Anna's interference in his schemes prompted this drastic retaliation, aiming to silence her investigations. Yet, the Faison connection looms largest, with his network of loyalists, disillusioned WSB agents, black market operatives, or even long-dormant sleeper cells capable of such precision strikes. Anna's mind races through possibilities, eventual acolytes seeking to honor Faison's legacy, or the man himself evading death through advanced tech like neural transplants or body doubles. Much like the brain jar enigma, the timing adds another layer, as Valentine Casadin's impending return to town slated for the very next day per the latest spoilers raises eyebrows. Could her ex-lover, the enigmatic Casadini heir with his own tangled history of abductions and redemptions, be involved? Valentine's past with Anna is a whirlwind of passion and peril, from shared missions against global threats to betrayals that left scars. His re-entry might twist this kidnapping into a twisted bid for reconciliation or control. As Anna tests her restraints, her thoughts turn to the psychological toll of isolation, analyzing how captors like these exploit fear to extract information or compliance. In this vein, the basement setup could be a deliberate echo of Faison's old lairs, complete with surveillance cameras blinking in the corners and cryptic messages scrawled on the walls, hints of eternal loyalty or unfinished business. This invented detail amplifies the dread, forcing Anna to confront not just physical bonds, but the mental chains of her history. Meanwhile, back in Port Charles, Jason mobilizes allies like Sam McCall and Felicia Scorpio, launching a frantic search that uncovers clues such as a discarded glove with Sidwell's insignia or a digital trail leading to Casadini Holdings. The abduction's ripple effects extend to the community. Laura rallies the council against Measure C, sensing its ties to the chaos, while Britt and Nathan grapple with their own resurrections, potentially holding keys to Faison's survival. Who holds Anna captive remains the burning question, fueling endless debate among fans and characters alike. Sidwell's ambition, Faison's ghost, or Valentine's complex motives? Each possibility weaves deeper into Port Charles' tapestry of deceit, promising explosive revelations that could shatter alliances and redefine loyalties. Next, we will learn about the intense drama swirling around Curtis Ashford's bold decisions and the tangled relationships that could reshape Port Charles forever. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, Curtis Ashford has finally emerged from a fog of indecision, locking in on his true desires after years of relational chaos. The once solid bond with Jordan Ashford, shattered by their contentious divorce, now flickers with renewed potential, even as Portia Robinson clings to the remnants of her marriage to him. Curtis's recent choice to file for divorce from Portia marks a pivotal shift, one that propels him toward rekindling the spark with Jordan, yet she urges restraint, insisting they pause until his legal ties are fully severed to avoid the pitfalls of premature entanglement. This cautious stance from Jordan, rooted in her deep-seated fear of reliving the agony of loss after their past split, hints at the stormy challenges looming on their horizon, where old wounds could either heal or fester anew. Fans speculate wildly on whether this duo, bound by history and chemistry, might rush into reconciliation despite the odds, or if Portia's watchful eye will prolong the inevitable fallout, turning their tentative steps into a full-blown battlefield of emotions and legal maneuvers. Delving deeper into Portia's turmoil, her Monday confrontation at Jordan's doorstep was meant to be a fiery reckoning, aimed at confronting the commissioner for usurping her chance to reveal the pregnancy news directly to Curtis. Portia, still reeling from the shock of discovering her husband's secretly unborn child she carries, whose paternity remains a shadowed mystery, arrived with accusations loaded, envisioning a verbal showdown that would expose Jordan's meddling. Unbeknownst to her, Jordan's earlier disclosure to Curtis wasn't a malicious ploy but a principled stand against proceeding in secrecy. A move that underscored Jordan's commitment to transparency in a town rife with hidden agendas. This clash of morals highlights Portia's own history of deception, from concealing medical truths to navigating marital betrayals, traits that have eroded trust with those closest to her. The unexpected sight of Curtis and Jordan locked in a passionate embrace shattered Portia's composure, transforming her planned tirade into a moment of raw vulnerability that could redefine alliances across the hospital and beyond, forcing her to confront not just rivalry but her own precarious future as a single mother-to-be. As Curtis asserts his readiness to move forward, Jordan's plea for patience rings hollow to longtime viewers who sense his impatience bubbling beneath the surface. Long accustomed to the push-pull dynamic of committed partnerships, Curtis has rarely thrived in solitude, his charismatic energy drawing him back to familiar flames like Jordan's unwavering strength. Over the seasons, the simmering tension between the ex-spouses has built like a pressure cooker, fueled by shared professional battles at the police station and personal trials that tested their resilience, from criminal investigations to family crises. With the divorce proceedings now entangled by potential custody arrangements for any future ties complicated further by Portia's pregnancy, the timeline stretches indefinitely, amplifying the risk of impulsive decisions. Observers point to Curtis's track record of leaping before looking, suggesting that stolen moments of intimacy might override Jordan's reservations, leading to a scandalous flip that accelerates their reunion and invites scrutiny from friends like Stella Henry, who has long championed their compatibility. This readiness on Curtis's part could catalyze a whirlwind romance, but it also risks reigniting old jealousies, painting a picture of a man torn between liberation and the ghosts of commitments past. The revelation of Portia's pregnancy injects unprecedented stakes into this love triangle, potentially upending her resolve to dissolve the marriage without a fight. Initially poised to walk away from Curtis amid revelations of infidelity and doubt, Portia now faces the gut-wrenching reality of watching him gravitate toward Jordan, the very woman whose poise and integrity once symbolized everything she aspired to in her own life. That stolen kiss she witnessed wasn't just a betrayal but a vivid tableau of what could have been a blended family, perhaps, with Curtis stepping into a paternal role elsewhere while Portia grapples with the child's uncertain lineage, possibly tied to her illicit affair with rival Dr. Austin Gatlin Holt. The shock has ignited a fierce protectiveness in her, prompting thoughts of leveraging the pregnancy to stall the divorce, extending negotiations through drawn-out court battles over assets, living arrangements, and parental rights that could keep Curtis tethered just long enough to sow doubt in his heart. Such tactics might buy her time to strategize, enlisting allies like her daughter Trina to appeal to Curtis's sense of duty, but they could backfire spectacularly if exposed, alienating him further and solidifying Jordan's position as the ethical anchor he craves. Ultimately, this baby represents not just a biological tie but a psychological weapon in Portia's arsenal, capable of either salvaging fragments of her family or accelerating its complete disintegration in the unforgiving spotlight of Port Charles society.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.